Good morning, voiceover friends on YouTube and on Instagram. How you guys doing? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. Can you believe it's Thursday already? Can you believe it's March 6th already? My goodness. Can you believe that this weekend our day gets extended by an hour in terms of daylight as we make that shift, as we spring forward, right? Spring forward, fall back. Well, I've really enjoyed talking about marketing this week. It's my favorite thing to talk about marketing. It's my favorite part. Well, you know what? No, I was going to say it's my favorite part of voiceover. No, recording voiceovers would be my favorite part, but there's no denying I love the thrill of the chase. I enjoy that. And for some of you guys, you don't necessarily enjoy it, but if you're going to be successful in business, you've got to learn all aspects. And it doesn't matter what area of life that we're interested in pursuing. There's always parts that we enjoy, parts that we don't. But here's what I found: the more that I learn about something, typically the more I enjoy it, the more I understand it, the more demystified it is, the easier it is for me to dig into it. And so that's what I'm attempting to do right now, is to demystify marketing as it relates to voiceover, how it works, to help you do better at it. So I've got a few points to share with you this morning that I think you'll find helpful. But I wanted to mention, first of all, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, I always appreciate the thumbs up and the shares. And of course, I would love to have you in my voiceover community. It's absolutely free. It's a place this is where we start the conversation. The community is where we continue the conversation. And there's a lot of folks from all over the world and all walks of life and um, all places along the path of voiceover, from brand new to those who have done this for decades. And there's a link below in the description where you can click, go, and get into the group. And I hope to see you in there today. So yesterday we talked about marketing as a relationship. And I think if you use the analogy of like dating somebody, getting to know somebody, and understanding that when you're first meeting somebody, you really have to make sure you let them know it's about them and not about you. You should always do that, but especially on the first date. If you make it all about you, that's a tough one to recover from. So understanding that it is about them, and understanding that a relationship isn't just a one-time thing. It's not just a contact or a few hours with somebody. A relationship is ongoing communication. So we talked about that. And today I want to progress and move forward and talk about marketing as awareness. If you boil it down to its essence, if you want to know whether you're successful at marketing or not, you need to know whether you have generated awareness in the people that you're trying to reach. And that is no easy task. As a matter of fact, that might be about the hardest thing you could ever ask of somebody, to create awareness, especially in this day and age. I think back when I was a kid, and not to be the old guy who reminisces, but there's been a significant change, and it's accelerating quickly. And when I was a kid, I remember there were 3 TV channels. I could watch the ABC, CBS, or NBC affiliate in Columbus, Ohio. Those were my 3 options. And of course, we didn't know anything else, so it all seemed great. And we had a black and white TV, and it seemed okay to me because I'd never had a color TV. So, things were simpler, but my point being, there weren't a lot of options. And when it came to radio, formats were not as splintered and as niche as they are today. And the popular stations for kids, meaning, age 13 on up, maybe through college, young adult, would have been what you would consider a contemporary hit format or a top 40 format. And usually in your market, there was one that kind of stood above the rest. And there was one or other two that were trying to compete, but there wasn't 50 choices for formats. And the station that we all listened to as kids, whatever, and I'm sure it was the same in your market, they played everything from the Carpenters to Kiss. And we listened to it all. And we may not have loved it all, but we knew it all. And it was a shared experience that we had together. Well, today we don't have many shared experiences with everybody. Even the news that we get is run through an algorithm so that it puts us in an echo chamber where we're really, what we think is the truth may be just a very distorted version of it. And so the point is we're not as connected as we once were. And so to generate awareness of yourself as a voiceover talent with somebody is a hard thing to do. And it's not just TV and radio. I mean, it's the incessant advertising, billboards, online. You've got all your socials to follow and keep up with. When's the last time you went into a restaurant and sat down and looked where there was somebody that did not have a phone in their hand? I mean, that's getting harder and harder to do. To get somebody's attention and to generate awareness of yourself is no small feat. It is a hard thing to do, and it has to be created. And here's the thing I want you to know. It typically does not happen quickly. If you're wanting to be successful in voiceover, it starts with, from a business aspect, creating awareness with the target audience, the people who hire voiceover talent. That doesn't happen in a day, doesn't happen in a week. It happens over months. And in some cases, I've had clients that it took me years to cultivate to do that. So it's something that you need to work on every day and be consistent. And one of the reasons I say this is to help you adjust expectations, because a lot of you guys are newer to voiceover, or you really haven't fully dedicated yourself to developing this as a career for a number of reasons. We all have stuff in life. But once you do, obviously you want something to happen relatively quickly. You want feedback. You want to know that you're on the right path. You want to know that you're doing the right thing, which is completely understandable. I feel the same way too, but I want you to know from somebody who's done this for a very long time that the reality is, whether it's in voiceover or any other business, it can take a period of time. And in voiceover, I would encourage you to not get antsy in the first couple of weeks, in the first couple of months. Every day, you should be reaching out to create initial awareness with somebody, but you've got to do it with a lot of people over an extended period of time. You've heard me use the sales funnel analogy. You put a lot in the top, you're reaching out to a lot of people trying to create some initial awareness. And then as people move through that funnel, people will lose awareness and it becomes fewer and fewer, but a few will catch on and understand and begin to understand who you are and even begin to want to work with you. And eventually a few people fall out of that funnel, but you've got to keep pouring in a lot on the top to keep a steady stream coming out the bottom of it. I don't say that to discourage you or to say you shouldn't do that. I'm saying that to say this is how it works. That's the way business works. Some businesses are easier than others. In voiceover, we've got the advantage that it's a global marketplace. So you've got an unlimited source of leads in this country, on this continent, and if you speak English, throughout the world. There are so many opportunities. So be encouraged, but don't get ahead of yourself. And after a couple of weeks, don't give up because the thing that you wanted to happen didn't happen. You got to keep moving forward. That's the first aspect, create awareness. The second is you have to maintain that awareness. I wish it was as simple, and not that it's simple, but I wish it was as simple as just creating awareness. Hey, you jump up and down, be that in the form of physically or through whether it's, advertising or email, direct marketing, whatever it is. I wish it was it was just like, hey, and then they see you, they know you're there, and then they remember that. But they don't. Why? They weren't looking for you to begin with. They've got 1,001 things on their plate. They've got family. They've got responsibilities. They've got friends. They've got, community stuff. They've got, problems that they're dealing with. They have things in their life maybe that they're celebrating. And you and I are not at the top of that list, understandably so. Doesn't mean they don't need a voiceover person. Doesn't mean they wouldn't be interested. But it does mean that we have to fight through the clutter. Not just to get an initial awareness, but to maintain that awareness. And this is where a lot of people, we lose a lot of people at the very beginning stages of marketing who just either don't get it or are too afraid to do it for any number of reasons. But then once you begin, then you have to maintain that awareness. And like, for instance, it's a good rule of thumb to reach out, at least once a month, at least once every 2 months, at least the very minimum 6 times a year, ideally once a month, where you're doing something that keeps you in touch with the audience that you hope hires you and that you can create a business relationship with. But it requires systematic work, systematic follow-up, which increases the complexity of the whole thing because now you got to keep track of all this stuff. And again, I'm not saying this to scare you off or to say you shouldn't do it. I'm trying to share with you the realities of how this works. Because once you get it and you understand it and you begin to do it, it's personally, there's few things more exciting than when you're doing good marketing and you begin to get a response. For me, it's the thrill of a lifetime. I love that, and I think you will too if you'll give it a chance. But a lot of you guys are giving up before really you even start, and if you start, you're just not following through. So again, not only are you going to create awareness, but you have to maintain that awareness. By the way, if you're struggling with that, if you're not sure exactly how to do it or the best way to keep track of all that or the way to systematically do it, just check out VoFlow.io. That's why we created the platform to help you through what what is the most difficult part for most people of voiceover. Believe it or not, it's not the performance part, not doing the demo, and it's the business and it's the marketing aspect. And so now you've got a tool that can help you with that. So don't give up, don't be discouraged, but understand that marketing it's not an event. That a promotion is an event. Marketing is a strategic plan that goes on and on and on in perpetuity if you want to continue to create and maintain awareness with your target market, your target audience. And I want to encourage you, if voiceover is the dream, learn it and do it, and we'd love to help you with that. If you haven't yet, check in on the live chat here on YouTube so I can just let me know where you're watching and listening from and your first name. And I see we've got quite a few folks have joined us on Instagram. Oh my gosh, we have a lot on Instagram. Let's see here. Who do we have? We've got Mark Holcomb. How you doing, Mark? Dennis, what's going on? Eric, Katie, Jerome, and Jackson. Let's see here. We've got Galen in Chicago. What's going on? Dennis, good to see you. Hey, GS in Longview, Washington. Joe checking in as he does every day on this Thursday from the sunny UK. The sunny UK. Sunny, I like that a lot. And I'm hoping that right now it's cloudy and raining and cold, and I'm hoping to get some warmth and some sunshine soon here in Northern Illinois. We've got John in Denver, Jim in Memphis, Jason in Kearney, Nebraska. Jim, what's going on? Rusty in the UP of Michigan. Spring might actually be here in a couple of months. Rusty, hope springs eternal. Sandra in Dallas-Fort Worth. Kish, how are you doing? There's a beautiful fog advisory in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Beautiful. Nephi in Knoxville, what's up? Jason says, marketing and dating advice? Now I have this thing in the bag. Thanks, Bill. Jason, you are welcome. I'm a fountain of knowledge. Drink from me. That's right. Relationships, dating, voiceover. It's funny. Once you understand marketing, it really does weave its thread through every aspect of your life. Yes, even dating. Corey in Whitehall, Wisconsin. Jim making a reference to, growing up with a TV that only had three channels, said you were the remote for the TV. Yes, you were the remote control. And Dad would say, okay, change that to channel 10, would you? Let's see. We've got greetings from dreary, rainy Cincinnati. Good to see you, Rob. Glad you're here. Oh, let's see here. Hey, Cincy, it's overcast in Memphis. See, I think a lot of us are seeing clouds and overcast right now. But guys, again, the time changes this weekend. Spring is just around the corner. Good stuff is coming. Now y'all understand how this marketing thing works. Hey, things are looking up. So let's make it a great day. Let's get this thing going. Let's move things forward. Let's continue this conversation in my voiceover community. Again, there's no cost at all. And a lot of great, wonderful, full of wonderful people. You're going to love it. Just go below in the description, click, and we'll get you in today. And again, we'll continue this conversation. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you at this time tomorrow.